Hello and welcome everyone to the Golfing Greenkeeper podcast. I'm your host Steve Smith and there's plenty of news going on around the country, so let's get stuck into it. This is episode number 42. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Walking the Fairways, that news segment where I can just bring you everything that I hear that's going on around the country to keep you up to date, to keep you excited about what is going on and what to look forward to. And we're going to start off by going down to Victoria, the wonderful golfing state that it is, and we're going to go into Yallourn Golf Club down there in Victoria, where they are really getting stuck into building some of the new works on the golf course. And they're starting off with their brand new par 3 second hole. Now, this work is being designed by Ogilvy Cocking and Mead, so OCM, as you've probably heard me talk about on numerous occasions with all the new work that they've done around the place, and they are very, very busy people. And there's a total of 3 new holes that are happening as part of a development that's happening next door to the golf course there at Yallourn. So these new 3 holes that are happening is the second, third, and fourth, is my understanding. There's a bit of golf course land that was sold off, I believe, by the golf club, is how I understand it, and that usually is an injection of funds to the club. So that's obviously the way that they've gone. And part of rejigging the golf course and rebuilding some new works there to keep their 18 holes proper and up to date, and they've got new design from OCM. So the second hole is par 3 that they're having rebuilt, and they're just hooking right into it. Turn the page, the year 2022, and let's rebuild the golf hole. So that's what's happening down there at Yallourn. And like I said, having OCM behind the design, we know that it's going to be interesting, it's going to be intriguing, and it's a great addition to Yallourn, and I think they've done well in choosing an Aussie design firm such as OCM, and all the work that they've done down in Victoria with, PK and Lonsdale and Sandy Link. So there's plenty going on down there, and people certainly know who they are and some of the great golf that they can deliver in terms of golf course design. So good stuff down at Yallourn if you know it. Now we move into the Sandbelt of Melbourne and we go to Metropolitan Golf Club. Now, they are in the middle of building their new practice chipping facility, chipping area, chipping green, if you like, the more common terms that we talk about, and it's being fully redeveloped by Kraft and Mogford Golf Strategy. So Paul Mogford has been a regular there in recent times, and he's ensuring that all is done to their high standards of delivery. So a great name in Paul Mogford, certainly a great duo in Kraft and Mogford that we hear about a lot of their work, and Metro they've done plenty of work with these guys. They've worked together in Kraft and Mogford and Metropolitan over recent times, and this is another addition to the golf course and to their facilities. Now, there's a new area. This new practice area includes a new green, new surrounds, and 3 practice bunkers as well. And of course, the bunkers will have that majestic, captivating, intriguing, eye-catching Metropolitan laser-cut bunker edges that we are so accustomed to. Whenever we see a photo in a book, you might see a coffee table book or some photography of Metropolitan, they are very distinct, and Metro is known for their bunker edges, and they just chew right into the greens and absolutely beautifully cut edges. So fantastic stuff, and that's a key part of what's happening down there, even at their practice bunkers. It's a practice bunker, but it's going to be as good as every other part of the golf course. And that's important when you're a golf club and you're building these sorts of areas. So it just doesn't mean it's an area that it's over there in the corner somewhere. It's maintained to the same standard, as all practice facilities on all golf courses should be, because you want to be able to practice on what you're going to experience out there on the golf course. That's a key part of it. So really good stuff happening down there at Metro. Now, the green has been seeded and the surrounds have been turfed out just a couple of weeks ago, so look for this to get in place sometime around April would be my bet, if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, but that's where I'm estimating it to be, somewhere around April, up and ready for play. And there's also a new practice tee area going in. So there's lots going on down there, and it will be delivered to Metropolitan standards, as I mentioned, no doubt very, very soon. Now, on the back of my last week's episode, my interview with Jerry O'Callaghan from Sandy Links, now, I wanted to let you know that a little bit of info you may have seen, you may have heard about, that Golf Australia have released their top 100 golf courses in the country, and Sandy Links have come in at number 51. Now, that, I've got to tell you, is an amazing achievement. From what we know of Sandringham in the past and the old version of the course and obviously the old name as well, and in Sandringham, it was a public access course. It was across the road from Royal Melbourne, and in many years gone by, it was just a public golf course. It was never considered anything great, but OCM, on the back of, look, it was 10 odd years ago, I think 12 years ago or so, that Royal Melbourne got the lease of the golf course and they started maintaining it to higher standards. They've obviously invested in, it's now the home of excellence of golf or something in Australia as well. There's some headquarters there of the PGA of Australia and so on. So it is now essentially the home of Australian golf. There's high performance teaching areas, all sorts of stuff happening down there in this rebuild and reimagined version of Sandringham, and it's incredible. And talking to Jerry, the new superintendent, last week in my episode, if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. You will thoroughly enjoy it, I guarantee you. And you'll hear about what you'll experience when you play Sandy Links. And I promise you, it's something that you need to go and experience. The public can go and get, see what it's like to play some of the greatest Sandbelt golf in Australia. And it's public access, so anyone can go. And I think that's a key. But Jerry's done an incredible job leading her team. They've obviously got the knowledge, and she's worked with the team of Royal Melbourne under Richard Forsyth. Now she's leading the team at Sandy Links. All these things combined, it's a beautiful recipe for incredible public access golf. So Sandy Links, congratulations to Jerry and her team, and congratulations to all the people that have been involved in this reimagined version of Sandringham Golf Club. And I think to jump up to number 51 is an incredible achievement and shows just exactly how they've gone and how well they've done. So congratulations, guys. Now, we go to, I talk about it, how much I'm a massive bogan for mini golf courses. And we're going to go to another announcement about a mini golf course, and that's to Chirnside Park Country Club in Melbourne's eastern suburbs. And they're installing a brand new mini golf course called, wait for it, Putts. Yes, it's a pretty straightforward name, Putts. Not like Shanks Mini Golf or whatever. It's called Putts. But that's what's happening over there at Chirnside, and that's being designed. Now, this is cool. I haven't heard about this before. It's being designed by Pacific Coast Design. Now, off the top of my head, I can't think of a golf architecture firm that's actually put their name to a mini golf course in Australia before. Now, I could be wrong. I don't hear everything, obviously, although I try hard to. I've never heard of that. So Pacific Coast Design, there you go. They've just put their name to a mini golf course. And incidentally, just to give you an idea, they are a real golf course architecture firm. They do full-size golf courses. It's not just things off the side. They're rebuilding some of the works at Freeway Golf Course down there in Melbourne at the moment, which is, like I said, a full 18-hole golf course, and they're doing some remodeling work with some road works that are chewing into the course land there at Freeway Golf Course. And I just think this is really interesting. It's really cool. It's yet another mini golf course coming into a golf course, certainly into Melbourne, which is great to see, but this is a great way of introducing people to the sport. It's fun and games, and I think it's a great angle to and a great addition to Chirnside Park down there in Melbourne. So look, they're talking about they're going to see the opening date in May this year, so that's only a few months away now, guys. So get your putters at the ready if you're living down there in Melbourne, or if you're looking for a bit of fun out the east side of town. And putts will be opened before you know it for a little bit of fun down there in Melbourne. Good stuff. Now we move away from Victoria into New South Wales, and we're going to go to Bingara Gorge Golf Club, which is in Sydney southwest, and it's a Graham Marsh designed golf course, Bingara Gorge. Now it's located just off the Hume motorway out of Sydney, which is the main highway out of Sydney on your way to Canberra/Melbourne, if you like, and for anyone who's not a Sydney side or not from New South Wales. And it's a course I don't often speak of. It's not that old, and it sort of flies under the radar in the new stuff. It's part of a land development with a lot of housing release happening down that way, and not often talked about, but it is a Graham Marsh design, and I've driven past. I haven't played it, but I've driven past it, and it does look pretty sharp, I've got to be honest. But look, at the end of last year, they were hammered, as a lot of places on the East Coast were, by some heavy rain. So they've been busy just repairing some of their cart paths around the place and some of the damage that was done by this overland water running and moving. And like I said, it's not that old a golf course. So there are things that they're improving around that, and these are all things that have happened. But for Bingara, they've had a small team, part of the staff. They've had a machine in there rebuilding some of the cart paths around the golf course. And look, I don't always talk about repairs of paths. It's not a big deal if you think about it. In terms of maintenance of a golf course and presentation of a golf, it's like, what, Steve, why are you talking about cart paths? Well, I'll tell you why I'm talking about cart paths, because if you're a player of a golf course, and I'm a player, I used to play quite regularly, I play less regularly now, but you will play your way around a golf course, even if you're not a kart player, you're not driving a golf cart, even if you're walking, but you will see the path over there off the side that looks shit. It's cut away, it's rutted out, it's been damaged by water, it's getting old and it's cracking or it's broken, whatever it might be. And you'll go, oh, geez, that was in your head, it's another untidy spot. So whether you're a user of cart paths or not, if they're on the golf course, there's something that does need to be maintained, and it always should be maintained to any well-presented and prepared standard. It doesn't matter what surface. It is another surface. It's not a surface we play golf on, but it's a complementary surface as people play golf. And there's lots of people that use carts, certainly on public access golf courses. We know that. And look, this is just something else. And I tell you now, like I said, if you play there on any golf course and you notice the paths are shit, you'll talk about that they're shit. You'll sit there and you'll go, you know what? Geez, it looked tired, it looked old, and it might be the only detail, but it will sit in the back of your mind. So I'm all for people and golf clubs just maintaining all sorts of areas of their course, and cart paths are no different. So look, it's 10 points to Bingara Gorge, because I know there are plenty of clubs out there that just go, look, we don't have time to do that, or it's not really in our priority list or whatever. You know what? You've got to somehow get it in that list, because these things they're the detailing. They're the trims around the edges that are subconsciously noticed, that when they're not looking good, they're rutted out, they're raggedy, they're shit, they're rubbish, they're full of weeds, whatever. You notice that lack of detail in finishing, and it's something that sticks in your mind as a visitor to the golf course. So well done to Bingara Gorge. Now, going to go up to the mid-north coast of New South Wales to Tuncurry Golf Club, which I haven't spoken about for a while. Superintendent Mark Sprague's up there. Now, they were busy last year, and I did mention this, that they were resurfacing a lot of areas around the golf course, in particular, a lot of work being done to their tees. Now, at the end of last year, they finally completed all of their tee renovation and rebuilding work. We're talking about individual tee areas with multiple tees on the golf course, 68 in total that were rebuilt across the course. And the main reason for that was a lot of re-leveling to provide consistent level surfaces and also consistent playing surfaces, where they converted all the tees out from an old Greenleys Park Cooch variety, and they wanted to install Santa Ana Cooch. And I say Santa Ana, so it's a little bit more clear in case you sometimes hear me rattle it off and I go Santa Ana Cooch. My wife said to me the other day, what's Santa Ana? Is that a word? What word is it? And it's like, no, it's Santa Ana Cooch. So Santa Ana is my favourite, the most versatile Cooch grass or grass variety out there for golf, in my opinion. And Tuncurry have been extra busy all of last year, but finally completed all of their tees that they were rebuilding with a new surface of Santa Ana Cooch. And certainly if you're a visitor up there, or even a member, you'll realise and you'll see just how improved those teeing surfaces are across the golf course, and it provides a great level of presentation and certainly a great level of quality for those playing at Tuncurry. So well done to Mark Sprague, Superintendent, and the whole team, and also the golf club for investing in these areas to be rebuilt across the golf course. Well done. And one that I just realised I've gone out of order, and I forgot to mention one of the courses in Sydney, and it's not that it's insignificant. It's one course that a lot of people play and visit in Sydney, just on the north sort of side of town a little bit, is North Ryde Golf Club. And it's in Sydney itself, not in the outer suburbs, and they have been busy rebuilding their 18th hole, which is a par 3, as you finish around on the course. And I've talked about this course, the remodelling of the 18th that started not so long ago. And well, now basically all the surrounds have been turfed out. The green has been seeded and is ready, and they're ready to start growing grass. Now, this is really exciting for the club. Certainly, I know there's a lot of social clubs and a lot of social groups that visit North Ryde as well to play golf. It's a very, very busy metro golf course. And to get the 18th rebuilt, it was quite a small green for a finishing par 3 hole, but now it's improved greatly. And like I say, I'm going to give this one until April, May for it to be open for play. Look, it's probably, I hope I'm not pushing some time and things on the superintendent. No pressure intended, guys. You know, it's that's just my thought process on guesstimating when it'll be open for play. So I'm thinking somewhere around April, May. Now, to give you an idea, it's a large green. It's quite a large green, this one, and it runs diagonally from the front right of the hole to the back left, if you like, on a 45-degree angle, and there's 3 bunkers surrounding that green. Now, they've used capillary concrete as the bunker liner in the bunkers, so you know they're going to drain well, which is a great positive move. And look, players will have some long putts on this green if you miss it to the wrong areas compared to where the pin is, because it is a large green. So I think it's a good improvement for the 18th there. As I say, it's a par 3. It's a great way to finish that golf hole now and ultimately finish your course. And you know what? A par 3 is an interesting way to finish a golf course, and we've seen it on tournament venues like the Lakes in Sydney as well, as a par 3 to finish 18. And, you know, you're going to see some championship events decided on the 18th. It's a shortish hole, downhill hole played to a large green, bunkers around. You're going to see events, you know, decided that people will be able to watch it being decided from tee to green and this new green complex for their members. See championship events decide on that green. You're going to have good galleries around. It's going to be great for the locals and the members to watch and play. Social groups are going to have an absolute field day, and I think it's going to be sensational. So great stuff by North Ryde. Congratulations to them as well. And once that opens for play, I think everyone's going to have a lot of fun finishing their round at North Ryde on this fantastic little par 3 now that will be more well-known for sure. And that's a quick wrap of New South Wales, guys. Now we're going to head up to Queensland. Now, we're going to go to Dalby Golf Club, which is located about 2.5 to 3 hours west of Brisbane. There or thereabouts is west of Toowoomba, so it's quite a way out of town. And Dalby, look, they've been in the process of updating their irrigation system on course, so look for things to improve here at Dalby. If you're a visitor or a regular to Dalby, you'll soon be able to make the most of the irrigation upgrades with improved course conditioning. So look, these are the sorts of infrastructure-based things that clubs need to invest in. It's obviously a tired old irrigation system there at Dalby, and they're going about things the right way. They're boosting the infrastructure, and certainly the irrigation is a key. It's a bit like your machinery. You can't maintain a golf course to a high standard without the right tools and equipment. And certainly the greenkeeping team need to have those at their disposal. And we're seeing Dalby improve it with improvements to their irrigation system. So one that's probably something that it simmers in the background. A lot of golfers don't realise it when it's starting to struggle, but it gets to a point that it's just a little bit worse regularly, and then all of a sudden you get to a threshold and it's like it just flicked a switch. Everything just stops. So you can't let it get to that point. You have to invest in it sooner than that, and you've got to take the advice of the team, the greenkeeping team out there and the superintendent to understand when's the right time to start pushing those buttons, pressing the red button as I call it to invest. And they're obviously going about that at Dalby. So great to see. And it's a golf course that we don't often hear about, obviously, out in the west there too much, but certainly one that would be great to visit and great to play. Always like hearing about places that are improving. So you shouldn't look past it and should get out there and support Dalby. Now we go to Noosa Golf Club, the northern end of the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. Now, I'm not talking about Noosa Springs. This is Noosa Golf Club, and you might have heard of it referred to by some people as Tewantin Noosa, for example, but it's Noosa Golf Club. That's what I wanted to stress. Noosa, let's not get confused. Well, they have got a shitload of work going on. Along with new superintendent Mick Pascoe at the helm, this is one to watch. Now, they've got a new course master plan they're working through that was prepared by Richard Chamberlain. And look, this has got the club moving forward in leaps and bounds. They've got a plan moving forward over the next X amount of years. Look, I always put a number on it and say around about 5 is my guesstimate for a hell of a lot of a master plan to be worked through. And there's a lot of grass changing happening on their surfaces around the golf course. So now I'm going to let you know that they've just completed work on their par 3 12th hole, and there's all sorts of things happening there. So we're talking things like Sir Grange Zoysia going down on tees and surrounds, Tiff Eagle Cooch going down on their greens, and they're using eco bunker edging on their bunker edges, the brand new bunkers that are part of this whole rebuilding of the golf hole on the 12th there. So look, Tiff Eagle, for example, was just put down at the Pines by Superintendent Paul McLean. That was a grass that's just gone down and rebuilt all their 18 greens on course. So look, a place like Sanctuary Cove, the Pines at Sanctuary Cove, I should have mentioned, mentioned, the Pines, is if Sanctuary Cove, they're one of the best golf courses held in the highest of regard, certainly the Pines is as well, on the Gold Coast, they're using Tiff Eagle. So we're hearing and seeing Tiff Eagle go down here at Noosa. They're using Sir Grange Zoysia. So this is a golf course that's going with Zoysia, and it's going to be one to watch and see how someone like Superintendent Mick Pascoe is able to get, the Zoysia really happening up there in those northern parts of the country into Queensland. So we want to watch that, see how it performs. There's not a lot of experience with Zoysia in Australia, and I know Superintendent Mick's got experience with that through Asia. So we'll see how this Zoysia is going to perform up there at Noosa, and will be one to watch by plenty of golf courses around that region, southeastern Queensland and northern New South Wales. We know that they've used Zoysia at Tevan Valley, for example, and coming in here at Noosa, this is the beginning of a big change up there at Noosa, and I think they're going to be one to stand out from the crowd after this lot of work. So, like I said, just completed the 12th hole, and they're now moving on to the 5th hole. This is going to be one to watch, and one that I'll be bringing you more about. So stay with me so I can bring it to you guys. One to keep an eye on, that's Noosa Golf Club. Now we head out of Queensland, and we're going to South Australia. Kind of a reversal of the run that I did last time, I think, from a couple of weeks ago. We go to South Australia, and we're going to look at Glenelg Golf Club, which is one that I'm hearing plenty of stuff about. And I've got a little bit of a connection there with Glenelg. You've heard about my magic honey stories from biodiversity manager Menina Gilby. Well, look, there's always a lot of biodiversity stuff, a lot of this sustainability in the background, a lot of measuring, a lot of seeing what's going on. They're trying to build a golf course and a site that works in harmony with its local environment, as we know a lot of the Adelaide and South Australian golf clubs do. It's certainly, I think, more than some of the others. It's something that it's coming to the fore more in golf courses as they managed into the future, and I think it's a great thing. And I think Glenelg's one of the leaders. So there you go. That's for me saying it. But look, they're doing some fauna research out there. That's what's going on at Glenelg at the moment. It's done by the University of South Australia, and they're doing some work monitoring the bats around Adelaide. And Glenelg Golf Club is one of the 60 sites across the city that the university are conducting this research on. So it's great to see a golf course, again, being involved in this sort of stuff. So, hey, they've got the land, they've got the vegetation, they've got the sites, they've got so many components into a golf course. And I think it's great that they're lending their space and they're lending everything that they have to a university study. And I think that's really important, and we can only see what's going on when we're taking stock, if you like, and we're measuring and researching and considering what's out there and what's going on. So this fauna research done by the University of SA is being helped along with Glenelg sort of donating their site, if you were. And I think it's a wonderful thing. So great stuff as we continue to hear all these great biodiversity things, this sustainable side of golf course maintenance and golf course sites in general is so good to hear. And Glenelg, like I say, I think they're a leader, and we're certainly hearing a lot about it. Now, I've got a new golf course alert. Do I make it meh, meh, meh? Was that what we do here? I don't know. I'm still working it out as I try and bring you some more news. New golf course alert. Now, you may have heard of this one. You might not. I've talked about Tasmania before in 7 Mile Beach and Amen Golf Course. Well, we've got the cliffs at Kangaroo Island. Now, yes, that's right. Kangaroo Island, just out there off the southwestern side of sort of away from Adelaide, down that right end of I don't even know I should have researched that region. I know I haven't been to Kangaroo Island, actually. I've been most of that part of the southwestern side down there around from Adelaide. But there you go. Anyway, so the cliffs, Kangaroo Island. That's what we're focusing on, not me waffling about regions I don't know. It's a new golf course, and it's been talked about for a little bit of time, like I said, and it got approval for it to happen back in 2017 from what I read. And it's something that we've kind of, if you've been in and around, you've sort of been waiting to hear about how this was going to turn out, but it looks like their construction is about to commence. The course is announced as being designed by Darius Oliver, who you might have heard of recent fame working with Mike DeVries at Cape Wickham Golf Course, and that's the one on King Island. Now, as we've all heard about, it's at the top of the tree, the top 5. I think it's in the top 5 of the best in the country, somewhere up there. And this Kangaroo Island one could be just as incredible. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, and no doubt we'll hear about it and see about it as they start building. But look, I think it's going to be destination golf most certainly, and there's a planned resort to be attached to this too. And look, like KI, King Island, Andrew Purchase will be involved in this KI as well, being Kangaroo Island. And both KI, it's weird, isn't it? King Island, Kangaroo Island, both KIs. Now, Andrew Purchase will be involved in the construction of this one at Kangaroo. And look, Purchase is the man originally behind the sports turf maintenance company called Turnpoint that ultimately turned into Programmed Turnpoint. So you might have heard those companies around. They're not small. We've seen Program. I think Program sponsored one of the stadiums in Western Australia. I think they're based over there in WA. And then they joined together, or one of the two was bought out or something along those lines. So it's now Programmed Turnpoint. And look, so that's a big deal. A wealth of knowledge behind it. They were involved at King Island together, and they're going to be involved here at Kangaroo Island in South Australia. And the missing one out of that group there is obviously Mike DeVries, and we know that he's working with Mike Clayton as part of Clayton DeVries Pont now, doing the wonderful looking. I say wonderful early, but look, it's going to be, I should say incredible. It's going to be bloody incredible. The incredible 7 Mile Beach down there in Hobart in Tassie. So, but look, we get back to Kangaroo Island. This is a big deal and it's a big name. That's what's going on. So the course is going to be at a place called Pelican Lagoon, but it's not actually at the lagoon side of things. It's on the cliff tops of that actual locality, and it's on the south end of that locality, basically facing directly south on the cliffs. It could be quite a challenging location. It's obviously got that wow factor. If you've seen any photos, and I'll try and put some up on my socials as well, just to give you an idea of some of the lay of the land, if you like, the cliff tops. It could be just as windy as Cape Wickham. I'm not certain about that area, but no doubt being exposed to the Southern Ocean, it could be quite an experience. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be times where I think it's going to be very, very difficult to play golf on. But it's a wow factor. It's going to be an incredible location, and no doubt their goal will be to jump at the top again. And certainly a unique thing for South Australia to have. We've heard about some things, and one that I'm going to probably talk about in the coming episodes, hopefully, of mentioning maybe another past golf course development that didn't happen. It might have been put on the back burner. It's happened to a number of places across the country, but there was another one there in South Australia. It's got some wonderful land for golf. It really does down there in South Australia. So anyway, we talk about that's the cliffs. It's called the Cliffs at Kangaroo Island, and that's the new course alert coming out of South Australia. Now, we're going to have a final bit of news for Walking the Fairways this episode, guys, in number 42. And we're going to WA. We're not going into Royal Perth at the moment. Actually, it's nowhere near Perth. We're going from Perth to the southwestern corner. We're going all the way to the very northwest of WA, up to Broome. Now, into Broome Golf Club. Now, I had a bit of news, and I just wanted to make mention about this because this is what happens in the wet season. At the northern half, not the northern half, just the northern reaches of Australia, the mainland, it's the wet season. It's called the wet season for a reason. Now, I've seen some images and some videos of Broome Golf Club, and they recently, only a few days ago, received, in 48 hours, mind you, so in 2 days, they received an eye-watering, brain-numbing amount of rain in the order of 565 millimetres of rainfall. Now, put that into perspective, that's over half a metre, just over half a metre of rain. That's what some golf courses receive across a year. And they did it in 48 hours. That's that's nearly half of the rainfall total of the Blue Mountains where I used to work. This is astonishing. And let's face it, up the northwest of WA, even though they get a lot of rainfall, it's the wet season, it's just humid and muggy and they get some serious rain events, but it's still quite a dry region of Australia. It's really odd, but needless to say, the course, which was looking rather beautiful before all this amount of rainfall, has some areas that are underwater at the moment. And those areas will obviously recede before long, provided they don't get any more rain, and play will again venture out onto the fairways. So, interesting stuff. Hopefully no damage underneath all that water from happening at Broome Golf Club, but just a really weird quirk of weather that's happening up there. But Broome is a good golf course, and certainly one that, for the township of Broome, you get out there and enjoy your golf, which is very good to see. And that's it, guys. A quick wrap and a quick update for Walking the Fairways episode number 42. Please like, share, subscribe, and also please don't forget to leave me a review so you can help expand where the reaches go for this podcast. I love getting it out there to more and more people, and I think everyone should start hearing about what's going on to the courses that they can visit across the country, and certainly all sorts of news that's happening about golf courses and even golf tournaments, as you've heard me talk about. So great stuff. Thank you very much for joining in, guys. As I always say, you hit him clean, we'll keep him green. And I have another episode of Australian Turf Analysis, Keeper of the Greens, coming at you next Thursday. Have yourselves a lovely day.